Hello, my lovely audience. So, this is What If Deku Had the Miracle App Store Part 2. So, I'm going to be leaving a link in the description for those who haven't been able to read it yet, but let's get into it. So, if you hear something in the background, that's my system. I'm about to play some GTA with a friend of mine. Anyways, let's get into it. And if I sound at all very tired or my mind wanders in any way, know that I literally had no sleep today. So I was up all night last night and I just can't sleep at all. That'll work itself out. So basically this is what's going to happen. Where we last left off, Momo was leaving his place and it was about to be the USJ. Now, as for what ends up happening, here's this. Yeah, it's the USJ, I believe. If it's the heroes versus villains, then Deku wins. Anyways, USJ. Oh boy. So Deku's hero suit is literally just going to be him looking like how he normally does, and yeah. So, as for what is going to happen here is this. So Deku gets there, and he's scrolling through the App Store on his phone, seeing what else he would like to buy. Mind you, Aizawa is actually having some of the coffee that Deku made in the coffee pot, and just enjoying by how good it is, and how it just relaxes him so much. Which I can go for a cup of coffee right about now. Anyways. Basically, this is what happens. Deku, when they get to the USJ, Deku is immediately, when the villains arrive, he goes to jump in and help his father. And, oh boy. Oh, and I did some research, and a car weighs around 2,880, maybe 50 pounds. Oh, over 800, 2,800 and over, a little over 800 pounds. And 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So I did some math, and if you don't know, in the manga, he was able to stop 2 cars propelled towards him with Black Whip while floating in the air. So, if you think about it, Deku could use maybe 40 to 60%. So yeah, let's get into this. So that's prime All Might level. So this is what happens. When Deku goes down, he starts immediately kicking ass and taking down villains. So much so that they thought there was only going to be 2 heroes here, not 3. Deku's that strong. And he's mostly punching them without using One for All. And he's also electrocuting them and just taking them out. And they start thinking, he's got some type of electricity quirk. Get him! But stay back from him. And that's kind of when Deku rushes towards them using One for All and just keeps punching and beating them down. So much so that I would say that's when Shigaraki sends the Nobu after Deku. And Deku sees the Nobu and punches it, and it does nothing. So guess what he does? He uses One for All. And he punches it using about 20%, hits it, and it does a dent, as in it actually moves the skin a bit. Yeah. So he hits it harder. And basically, when it grabs him and starts pushing down on him, that's when Deku uses about, I would say, 40%, and starts pushing the Nomu off him, throwing him into the building, into the ceiling, and having it jump towards him, and then Deku immediately punching it right in the fucking in its fist, having the entire arm, skin basically exploding off the arm, and then basically it falling to the ground, screeching in pain. And that's when Deku kicks it towards Shigaraki and Kurogiri. And that's when they get the fuck out. They immediately get out of there because someone just treated the weapon they want have against All Might like a soccer ball, and it ain't looking pretty. So, for what ends up happening next is the Nomu continuously fights Deku, and Deku grabs the Nomu and holds it in a headlock and starts electrocuting it. So much so that it falls to the ground paralyzed because he just fried its brain too. The brain is exposed, okay, so there's that. And as for what ends up happening next is, a lot of the villains would have been done for right now, and when All Might gets there, it's over already. So yeah, Deku just completely destroyed everybody, and Momo is having the hots for him, admiring everything he did, finding everything he did hot, and how badass he is. Everyone else being scared of him at this point. Except Bakugo, because he just sees him as, I could do better than that. Someone as weak as him, I could do so much better. Him and his ego, him and his fucking ego. Fuck. So tired, fuck. Anyways, I might make this a short ep, but, anyways, let's do this. So what ends up happening next is this. Deku's told to never do that again and is put in an in-school suspension and may not participate for the sports festival. But Aizawa would put in a good word when he's in the suspension and let him participate in the school sports festival. And for what ends up happening here is this. When he gets there, he's the one that gets to tell his speech. And how good his speech is this. He says that anyone can become a hero if they have the will to keep on fighting. And I would say that's when everyone starts like clapping their hands like, yeah, this guy knows what he's on about. You have to have the heart of a hero to be a hero. And for what ends up happening next is this. Deku, how do I put it? This is really fun what if I like doing, but still I'm tired as all hell and it's hard. Well, for the Sports Festival, blah, 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 fuck. Sports Festival, he is going to go ahead and, I'd say for the race, you get there pretty much almost instantly because he's jumping there. Would this be considered right? Because technically he could just jump into the stadium. I think he would ask a teacher if he could just jump into the stadium. And the teachers would be like, well, if you can do it, go for it. We don't see a problem. Just go for it if you think you can do it. Just don't go into the audience. And that's when Deku jumps. Everybody's like wondering, where did that student go? He's not landed anywhere yet. And that's when he's in the air. All Might looks up and sees Deku falling to the ground, and he lands right in the middle of the arena. And the crowd's cheering and coughing because there's so much dust everywhere. And they immediately, some are starting to cheer because they're in the front row and they get to see what is going on. While some in the back are like wondering, what's going on? And coughing. And the heroes in the front are cheering because Deku just crash landed and was the first to make it back. And while he's waiting, he's on his phone checking items out he can actually buy from the Miracle App Store. And let's see, what does he think of anything? Basically, he's looking at all kinds of things. Thinking of doing crocheting, thinking of doing, getting some interesting tea that can rejuvenate stamina, which is on sale right now. So he buys some of that. Knowing Aizawa, he's going to be drinking all of it. Anyways, for what ends up happening next is this. When Deku goes to, when he goes to in the cavalry, I'm going to say that Momo, Mina, Araka, and I'm going to say, Araka, Momo, Jiro, Hatsumi, and Tokiyami are going to be on his team. And for what ends up happening here is this. Deku is going to literally... Well, no one's going to go near him because they hear about how he has all these quirks and how he's a complete dangerous motherfucker. Also, he's the front horse. Meaning they think that maybe it's a good idea to go after him, but then they think he can electrocute people, right? Let's not do that. But Monoma would be the dumbest of the dumb and go after him. Even Bakugo knows to not go after him because he doesn't want to lose this. He knows that, him with backup is a bad idea. So what does he do? Monoma goes over, hits, I don't know how his quirk actually works. Like, is it just like he stares at the person and gets the copy? Anyways, he tries to use it on Deku, and, well, he can't. And he's wondering why it won't work. So he then goes up to Deku, copying Tokiyami's quirk. No, he would copy... I would say he would copy... You got Momo's quirk, yeah. And create a baseball bat and try and hit Deku with it. Hits him in the side of the head, and he just pushes it down onto his shoulder, flattening it. And that's when he, with one arm, punches the front horse on Monoma's team, having them fall backwards. Luckily, Monoma didn't get out, but still, prick move to try and do to Deku's team. After that, everybody just was like, yeah, no, we're not going to go towards that. He just one-punched everyone on that team. Let's not go towards him. So for the cavalry, Deku keeps his points, and when he goes into the, whole fight, he goes against Shinso. Shinso, at this point, realizes he's screwed. So what does he do? He walks up, says, I have no chance of winning, and I'm just going to go. And that's when Deku just kicks him out. He's not going to waste any time. He's just going to kick him right in the back. Basically, I'm joking though. He just forfeits. Shinso forfeits because he knows he ain't going to fall for it with how, his battle experience is. He just barely talks when he's fighting. So, yeah. Mainly because Aizawa would have training sessions with Deku to, say that you don't ever want to talk to your enemy. Just fight. That's it. Because they can say something and get under your skin and it causes problems. That's good lemonade. Anyways, as for what happens next is this. Deku, for the battle with Todoroki, it's a pretty one-sided battle, actually. Deku keeps smashing and destroying his ice and just walks towards him, punching into it, and Todoroki just keeps on bringing up the defenses until he's completely, freezing at this point. And that's when he tells him it's his quirk, use all of it if you're going to fight someone. And when he finally uses his fire side, that's when Deku uses his electricity. And he kind of does it interestingly. As in, normally it works kind of like a taser, it's a contact thing. But he thinks, why not try and do something? So, I think this would work as well. Basically, he swipes his arm like a karate chop down, and then stops using the electricity. I'm going to say it shoots out and hits Todoroki right when he uses his flames and tases him to the ground and knocks him out. Immediately, a lot of heroes are like, wait. He used his electricity ability. Is that even legal? Can he really do that? And yeah, he would win. And yeah. Anyways, as for what ends up happening next is this. When Deku goes ahead and fights Bakugo, I'm going to say that Bakugo starts charging at him immediately and trying to use his explosions to blind Deku, but Deku sees through it and pretty much just grabs Bakugo and throws him out of the ring, having Bakugo come back, barely, and then getting punched. Well, kinda. Like, basically Deku punches the air, sending a shockwave to hit Bakugo and knocking him out of the air, having him fall to the ground and being disqualified. Or, well, having him lose the match. And that's when Deku wins. Now, as for the heroes versus villains, I'm going to say the person that takes him in, because he doesn't really need the training from Gran Torino, because he's getting better training thanks to... I'm going to say that Gran Torino would either way take him in, because he is using most of it on one part of his body, so there is that. So, yeah, Deku goes to Gran Torino. Some of the similar stuff happens. It's just... Basically, Deku learns full cowling and is much more dangerous in terms of that he basically just... Let's put it this way, he doesn't really need to hold back too much of his strength. And as for what happens next is he completely demolishes... kind of just demolishes Stain. Because when he faces against Stain, he just flicks his finger, having a precision burst of air hit Stain, causing him to go flying and into the side of a building and then knocked out. And that's when he picks up Ida and gets him out of there. And Stain would then get up, charge at Deku, and that's when Deku, punching straight into the blade, destroying it, grabbing Stain, and then electrocuting him. And then throwing him to the ground. And then having Endeavor take the blame that he did it, all that stuff. And then next would be the little exam where they see what they learned and all that. And Deku, using full cowling, would be running at insane speeds, moving all over the place, and yeah, he would be terrifying. Next would be the training camp, and I'm going to get that done in the next part. It's just I'm incredibly tired, and I had to make this part because I haven't done Miracle App Store in a while, so there's that. Anyways, have a good day and a good night. Peace out.